Generally, at Thanksgiving, I don't dare put bread on the table, but I do put biscuits. And these are the flakiest, most beautiful biscuits. They're just fresh out of the oven, and they're very easy to make. These are buttermilk biscuits, and this recipe comes from a collection of our favorite recipes from the magazine over the last year, the 2002 Annual Recipes book. And they're very easy to make, and you should absolutely have them with your Thanksgiving dinner, because with cranberry butter and all the rest of the fixings, they'll be very popular on your table. And it's very easy to make. You want to whisk together 4 cups of flour in a bowl. This eliminates the sifting process with 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Baking powder causes the biscuits to rise and makes them light and flaky. And we're also going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, which neutralizes all the acids, because we have the acid of the wonderful buttermilk that's going in here and the acid of the baking powder. 1½ teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And just whisk that all together. And now to quicken the process, you can cut all the butter in by hand, 1 cup, 2 sticks of unsalted cold butter, or I'm just going to show you a little secret of mine. I use the food processor because I like to make a lot of biscuits, and we have the buttermilk here and our butter. And what I do is take a couple of the cups of flour and I just put them into my food processor. 1, 2, like that, 2½ or so. And then I put the butter in. And then I just pulse it. Just pulse. Now that would have taken you a little bit longer if you were going to use the pastry cutter, the old-fashioned way, the way my mom taught me how to make biscuits. So here we have the butter all nicely cut up. You can also cut the butter in with 2 knives, the way Grandma used to do. So now with your fingers, just mix this all up. Get all the dry ingredients mixed in with all those little pieces of butter. Butter also helps the biscuits rise. As the biscuits bake, the butter melts into the flour, leaving pockets of air that fill with steam. So there, it's all nicely broken in. And the buttermilk, we're going to add 2 cups. Now at this point, you could add chopped dill, you could add cheese, you could add corn kernels, you could add thyme, rosemary. You don't want to overmix. This is very important not to. You want to avoid developing the gluten in the flour, which toughens the biscuits. And the most tender biscuits are just done so carefully by hand, just barely touching the ingredients. All those great Southern ladies who make their biscuits on their biscuit boards, holds the flour. They're marble topped usually, and they are beautiful. Now it's good to use a bench scraper like this too, just to help you keep moving this dough around. Flour is good, just to prevent the stickiness. And we're going to get about 1¼ inch thick round here on the counter. See how it's still moving? That's a good sign. We're making big biscuits. This is a 2½ inch biscuit cutter. Now you could use very small biscuits. You could use the rim of a straight glass like this. You just make sure you put that in the flour and cut out your biscuits. We want nice straight-sided biscuits. And that's a beautiful biscuit. Or this is even easier with the lovely sharp edge. Now these are also great. You can brush them with a little milk on the top and sprinkle them with sugar for sweet biscuits, for strawberry shortcake, berry shortcake. So now we're going to get this right into a preheated oven of 375 degrees and bake until it's lightly browned. Each of these biscuits about 18 to 20 minutes. And put them in a beautiful basket like this. Keep them warm. You can serve these for breakfast for your out-of-town guests. You can serve them, of course, at dinner. And if you want, just break it in half like this. Look how beautiful and flaky and delicious this biscuit is. It comes apart into layers. A little bit of that cranberry butter Yum. Looks good to me. How does it look to you?